Green bean dreams. If we imagine things before those things exist, and we think that by naming them, those things will begin to have life, to walk in, yes, to create problems. The Zapatistas. Up on the sloped hillsides of Colombia's Coffee Triangle, coffee bean bushes were dreaming of beaning more than plantation-style, caffeine-high enablers for boutique coffee shops, mega chains, and 24-hour diners. I heard cheese made from the people about folks who code clouds into existence with magic blue screens. If they can craft worlds, I bet we can too. Under soil and among roots, green beans' dreams were felt by mycorrhizae. Moral morel mushroom emerged from the internal terrain, downloading the good word. As intuition technicians are known to do, moral morel mushroom granted coffee bushes' dreams a life. Old bean bushes felt transcendental upon their change. They collectively made the decision to stop playing the role of coffee bush. Discarding their old identity, they immediately stopped production of green beans, becoming trees and outstretching once constricted limbs, gaining more space to feel sunshine on their fresh, woody skin. Some of the farmers felt distraught at the loss of the cash crop. Some of the elders paused to let their emotions flood in, so they could breathe deep and sit on it before rushing into action. The laughter of children rang all along the hillsides and into them. They let these sounds ferment, listening to something deeper. Picking up what was put down, moral morel mushroom broadcast radio wave frequencies on Key's Dirtbox. This was felt all throughout Colombia's Coffee Triangle villages, reaching the resting villagers in the coffee trees. Possibilities propagated into daydreams, dancing ecstatically inside everyone's head for what felt like weeks. Moral morel mushroom's music sang loud. Into the dark we dance, with felt desire, without known direction. A true trickle-down economics of the good word cascaded down like foggy mountain breath down the hillsides. The peoples heard what's to come, so they continued to dance, filled up on joy, passion, purpose, and play. All around the world, tea plants, sugarcane, coffee, bananas, avocados, corn, and soy were inspired by the coffee trees. The once captive cash crops caroused their way into the siesta fiesta, redirecting their energy from fruiting to booting out old habitual weights. Groups of each life still produce their fruits, though, for the local yokels to enjoy. But people not in those areas went into withdrawals without caffeine, sugar, or other imported exploitations. A great sickness grew, taking root in many lands, and people became so sick that eye boogies boogied over them, usurping each person into an eye booger cocoon, melting them into a soup inside. Our dear friend, moral morel mushroom, a true trickster, cleared their throat and let out a yodel so cavernously deep that each cocoon soup person's essential self rose from their heart wells and brain caves. Visions of how to move with many paths crisscrossing in multi-directional ways took shape. The yodel mixed with light to reform the people soups. So re-solidified, they sprang out of their shelters in place with vivacious vitality. The humans were still a bit foggy, though, with dreams buzzing loudly in mind. As folks stepped outside, they looked at their old shells, erupting with laughter at the thought of going back to NORMAL. Discussions disco danced around how to move forward. Some called for participatory democracy, while others yelled, "Don't tread on me." Some argued for community land trusts and some for rent abolition. Many wanted mutual aid, co-ops, solidarity, economics, and social enterprises. Young folks, as young folks do, noticed common themes emerging from the arguing adults. The need for clean drinking water, nourishing food, shelter, and a meaningful existence. The little humans convinced their parents to take off their polarizing glasses. And one by one they did so, eyes readjusting. As silence fell, a heavy feeling draped over the crowd, inducing smiles visible with sound. The dichotomous dress styles began to slip off of the adults as their tight butts unclenched, and a fashionable yes emerged. The many ways to live with land differed for each region, An agreement was reached that mass production, over-extraction, and gluttonous consumption would no longer work in any region. The old ways were best to let gracefully die, to compost with the earthworms and plant germs. The buzzwords once buzzing around in high fury buzzed off elsewhere. Probably carried on trade winds to hillsides of coffee trees smiling at the sweet sonic sounds of uncertainty and change. Finn. Well, kinda. This was written at the beginning of Rona, and Rona was still happening 8 months later when I wrote this. Polarized political views stagnated solutions towards multifaceted issues like COVID. This ain't the first nor the last. I hope you're able to live the life you want without it costing 3 to 4, but we'll see you when it does. Blessings from the honeybees, and when them folks ask you what it be like, you can tell them it be like honey. They'll know who sent you. Long live the dirt dog days. Defund the police in your head. Love the ma's and the grandmas. You're doing great. I promise.